Welcome everybody to Five Guys Rolling Dice. We got all our technical issues worked out. Thanks for anybody who's watching. We are going to pick up our adventure right away. Our party has spent the last several days in the bustling metropolis of Waterdeep. You guys went there after traveling to Waterdeep for sort of some rest and relaxation and to sell some of your hard-earned treasure and loot that you had. And at our last session, you guys participated in the Founders Day Festival, which was gave you sort of the opportunity to play a lot of different games. Some of the more notable ones were sort of find the ball under the cups, or there was archery, there was arm wrestling that you guys did, and there was the crowd favorite Guess the Smell.
That's a good one.
Several of you did, yes. And the day
was
culminated.
Was the dwarf a celebrity?
What's that?
Was the dwarf a celebrity? Was it a celebrity ass?
You're not sure. You'd have to ask around and see.
High on crack.
Never know. So the culmination of the festival was the Founders Day tournament, which was a hand-to-hand combat tournament that was entered by Razzler and Elster. Razzler unfortunately was knocked out in the second round, I believe, by a large half-ogre hulking beast of a man who knocked him out. Elster was able to make it to the finals, where he faced Skagar the Pummeler, who was the 4-time champion of the tourney. And it was quite a battle. Elster was able to use a lot of his monk-like abilities to gain the upper hand, and he did end up eventually barely defeating Skagar with just a few hit points left himself to win the champion's tourney. He was then sort of, you guys followed him as he was carried to the center of Waterdeep and put up on this sort of elevated platform that had been prepared for the victor, and sort of a parade of nobles and well-to-do individuals from Waterdeep itself came by and showered you with flowers and accolades and some gold. And there was a old blind man that came by and gave you this sort of golden pendant that had a yellow rose written on it, and then he sort of just went on by as well. And that, you guys then went back to the Swords Rest and sort of crashed for the night, and that's where we'll pick it up tonight, unless I've missed something. Have I missed anything?
Did you tell us about the old guy, Elster?
We guys were all there.
Oh, we weren't. Okay.
Yeah, you guys were all kind of around him on the platform, so you guys all saw it.
Yeah, I think that was a pre-festival. We did like finish up shopping or whatever, but for the most part, it was
Elster
mostly
night.
festival.
That was awesome.
All right,
Yeah.
so you guys head back to the Swords Rest. It's very early in the morning at this point after all of the reveling and celebration
I've been
that's
muted.
going on. Oh, you've been muted? Oh, you're not muted anymore.
Hi guys, I'm sorry. I was slightly asking, could you recap the old man and what he said? I don't remember what he actually said to us.
Sure. So the old man was a blind man that kind of came up through the crowd and essentially asked Elster what his name was, where he was from. He kind of felt of Elster's face to kind of get an idea of what he looked like. He congratulated him on fighting well and told him that there was a medallion that had been given to him many years ago that he wanted to pass along and give to Elster in honor of his great fighting. And that was kind of it. Elster, anything else you want to add about the details of that individual?
No, not that I can remember.
Was he actually blind? Did you believe him?
I did. I don't know if I checked that, but I
Did you use a
believed
tennis ball check?
he did feel my face, so
And he gave
he was
you
either really handsy or blind.
Maybe he just likes feeling people's faces.
Yeah.
Rick,
I
did I
mean-
believe that he was blind?
You didn't actually do an insight check to see if he believed he was blind or not, but you didn't really seem to have any reason to believe he wasn't blind.
Gotcha.
I mean, he had kind of.
I would
built
say he
over
was blind
eyes
too
and
if I let
stuff.
somebody touch my face.
I mean, his eyes were kind of milked over and had a lot of cataracts in them, and he was using sort of the white, typical blind man's cane to get around. So
When he went to feel my face, he started really low.
Like
kind of missed.
codpiece high.
Well,
Exactly.
those are private details, guys. Use your
All right.
eyes, man.
So you guys
Be good.
all go to up to your rooms, and you guys all go to sleep. At this point, I need Razzler, Elster, and Gaius to mute and deafen yourself on Discord,
Oh
please.
snap! I
Also,
won't
don't
listen.
watch this. Don't watch the
Of
YouTube
course.
videos because that'll kind of ruin this. So
Okay.
So we'll give them a few seconds to mute and deafen.
looks like they are.
Akrus. So you drift off to sleep, and once again you find yourself in your dream state, kind of tumbling into blackness. You fall for what seems to be an eternity, and eventually you see a small pinpoint of light, a flaming fire that you're falling towards. It becomes larger and larger and begins to fill your vision, and you fall through this hole into this familiar chamber, a chamber that you've dreamt of before. Why don't, just for the sake of the Twitch viewers, or the people that are going to watch on YouTube, why don't you kind of just narrate a little bit of the dreams that you've been having and what's been going on?
Okay. So for the benefit of the new viewers, I'm a Warlock. I've prayed to the Dark One for more power. I've learned over the years that the face of the Dark One, I believe, for me is... What we assign it to?
What do you mean?
Player handouts. Oh, it was the Demogorgon. That's the god that I'm praying to. I learned that over the course of Curse of Strahd and a little bit of Phandelver. Basically, as we've been progressing through the campaign, I've gotten these dark dreams I'll slip into. I see a lot of tentacles reaching out, and a lot of it's just me getting sucked under. In exchange, I've been giving part of my soul for power. So my character has some burns on his face, and he's been marked by the Dark One. In exchange, I've gotten extra Warlock spells and abilities that you don't normally get. But every time I use these spells or abilities, they cause me to get sick. I'd have to make a Constitution saving throw to see if I can actually withstand the dark forces coming out from me. So if you ever catch that, there might have been one at the end of Curse of Strahd where I had to do that. And so anyway, to kind of summarize, as the campaign has been progressing further and further, I've been delving darker and darker and deeper with Demogorgon, and I've been getting all these awesome powers, but it's slowly killing me inside. And Akrus is character conflicted because he still wants to do right by his friends and his party. He doesn't want to hurt them, but he's still on this ultimate quest for dark power and becoming as strong as he can possibly be.
Yeah, and the other important thing for the viewers to realize and know is that the party doesn't know about his connection to this Demogorgon entity. They only know that he has nightmares from time to time, and when he has these nightmares, he thrashes around and calls out, and sometimes will vomit up this sort of ethereal tentacle at the end right before he wakes up that sort of flops around the floor for a while and then sinks into the floorboards. So Akrus, you once again enter this chamber, this sort of circular chamber with black obsidian tiling and black walls, black stone, heading up kind of as far as you can see. It sort of seems to be just heading up into nothingness above you. You see a single lit brazier flaming with red and yellow, intense flames. The heat, you can feel it on your face. And from the corner of your eye, you see this hulking figure come into view. Once again, this two-headed demon creature with tentacles for arms and a long, sort of forked tail. He has two heads. They look to be monkey-like or baboon-like, and they're sort of gnashing and biting at each other as he walks towards you. And you hear in your mind the voice once again of Demogorgon. Akrus, you once again come before me, victorious mainly because of the power that I have bestowed upon you. You've had your doubts, my acolyte. Your unfaithfulness is unbecoming. And his sort of this tentacle shoots out and wraps around your neck and begins to choke the breath from you. At this point, the second head turns to the first and says, Now, Hethradaya, that's not needed. Release him. And you feel the tentacle's grip release, and you're sort of lowered to the ground once again, sort of catching your breath, and once again you feel the air filling your lungs. The second head looks at you and says, Akrus, our plans are moving quickly now. The time of our triumph is near. Destiny has brought you here, brought you to this point. Your path forward will become clear very soon. Do not interfere with my acolytes. You and your friends will suffer if you do. Your place is with me, Akrus. With me, we shall reshape this world. He sort of stalks around you and sort of looks at the second head, and this Hethradaya head, the more aggressive head, the one that's shot the tentacle forward at you, kind of snapping at the other head as he walks around. Do you have any response?
How will I know?
You will know. It will all become clear very soon.
And about my friends?
Your friends are not my concern. They are, and should be, not your concern either. You need to think about your destiny, Akrus. Your friends are mere stepping stones.
I slowly nod. I understand.
Both of the heads kind of nod, and they look at you, and the calmer, more calculating one just says, Good. I'm glad we understand each other. And with that, you are catapulted back out of the chamber, back through the hole, back pummeling, tumbling back through a blackness, and you re-enter yourself, and once again you sort of sit up, sweat pouring off of your face, the burn marks and runes, these tentacle markings that have come onto your face, now burning once again. And as usual, you find yourself nauseated, and you vomit out this large sort of purple glowing tentacle that sort of flops around on the floor and then sinks into the floorboards once again. All right, I'm going to message that they can come back in.
Okay.
Now, let me put chat on the stream view real quick while they're doing that. All right, there we go. All right, is everybody back? Did they not see that?
I can unmute and undeafen everybody, I think.
Oh, can you?
No, I don't think so. I'll put it in the DnD Discord chain.
Okay.
Did I hear we back?
You're
Yeah.
all back. Do we have everyone? Razzler, are you back?
We just need Razzler.
Can't talk to him, so I gotta wait till he gets Chris's message.
Well, here's now what we need to do. And you guys can just tell Razzler to stay muted and deafened, because I need Akrus and Gaius to both deafen and mute.
Okay. We're doing character development today.
And Razzler.
And Razzler. Razzler,
Do I?
you're back from Akrus's deafening and muting, but now I need you, Akrus, and Gaius to all deafen and mute as well.
What is our place setting right now? Are we in the inn still?
You guys are asleep in the inn, yes.
Asleep in the middle of the night?
You're all asleep.
Remember, I have trance. I only sleep for 5 hours, but all right.
All right, gotcha.
You're on a time limit, Rick. All right.
All
Bye.
right,
See ya.
everybody except for Elster, please mute and deafen.
All right.
Everybody muted and deafened?
Looks like we're good.
All right, Elster, you collapse into your bed, sore and exhausted from the day's fighting and the triumph. You immediately fall into a deep sleep. Your dreams come quickly. You relive, most of them are reliving the events of the day. You dream of the fight with Skagar, the pummeler, and your triumph. You dream of the old man, the blind man, coming to you. And in your dream, as he places the amulet around your neck, your vision sort of leaves your usual body and just focuses on the amulet itself. And you see that amulet, that medallion with the yellow rose on it, just start to spin. And it spins faster and faster and faster. And your vision is drawn in to this spinning amulet till all you can see is flashing gold. All of your vision is just sort of taken up by this spinning, flashing amulet. And then suddenly, whoom, your vision is pulled through the amulet itself. And you're in a black, you're just in an endless sea of blackness. And towering above you is this massive tree. But as you look closer, you realize, and as you walk closer to it, you realize that it's not a tree at all. It's a huge rose bush that just goes 50, 100 feet above you. And you look, and as you look at this rose bush, parts of it you can see are dead and withered, and parts are yellowed and sickly, and the rose buds that are there are in the process of their petals falling to the ground. You notice that when you look at the base of this rose bush, there is one cane, one branch that is a bright, vibrant green. And you follow this branch as it goes up through the rose bush, and it sort of branches and twists and turns just kind of dizzyingly through this maze of branches and rose canes and things. But you can follow it, and it goes all the way up to the top. And as you see at the very, very top of it, you see a perfectly formed yellow rose at the top. Your vision swims once again, and you're pulled back away from this rose bush and back through the amulet, and it's just sitting there spinning right in front of you. And you wake with a start, with the smell, faint smell of roses in your nostrils. And that is your dream.
Okay.
So now, if you can message in Discord for everybody to come back.
Yeah.
Hello.
Everybody back?
I had bad news. I had a nightmare and I accidentally killed Gaius while I was asleep.
I knew it.
Hello.
All right.
That sucks.
So you guys all take your rest. You are awakened about midway through the night, maybe 3 or 4 in the morning, by Akrus once again sitting up in bed and vomiting a tentacle onto the floor. Similar to previous times. He reaches up and kind of grabs to his face in pain as the scarring on his face seems to be flaring up again.
Was the tentacle look any different from previous times, or is it the exact same? From what I can tell.
It's slightly larger, and it lasts for a slightly longer time before once again kind of melting into the floor and just leaving sort of a trail of slime behind it.
I'm gonna offer to lay my hands on you, Akrus. Do you need some healing?
You know, it was a rough night. I'd appreciate it.
All right. I put my hand on him and say, "We're here for you, my friend."
Okay.
I'm gonna rub my eyes and say, huh, what's been going on? I feel like I slept through the entire night.
I thought you didn't have to sleep very long, man.
Yeah, when I do sleep, I sleep hard.
Oh man. Boy, we're freaking frugal all staying in the same room. That's crazy.
It's for safety.
Times are tough. We only got, what, 7,500 in the bank?
It's more for safety. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It harkens me back to when we first got to, where was it? I think it was like Valaki or something, and we were staying in that place.
Yeah, for a
The,
year.
The L-shaped room, and we're like, we'll just all stay in the same room.
Yep, we're like, I don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
All right, so after this, you guys all find your way back to sleep. You complete your long rest. The morning wakes you with some of the morning sunlight coming through the windows. You make your way down to the common room. And as Elster, the newly crowned champion of Founders Day, comes down the stairs, there's sort of a cheer from the common room. And you realize that there's a group of about 25 or 30 citizens that have been waiting for you to come downstairs. And you guys, as you sit at the table, you are brought flagons of mead and food, anything that you want. Everyone's clapping Elster on the back and, sort of reliving the amazing events of the previous day. So you guys complete...
Elster, I want to play some music.
Okay.
I want to play some music to liven up the...
I'm starving, so I'm going to dig in.
Yeah, roll a performance check, Razzler.
Oh,
nice. 27. So your fingers, usually in the mornings your fingers are a little stiff. You got to warm them up a little bit, but not this morning. You are killing it. You are exactly perfect in all of your notes. Everything's in tune, and
It's because it's a song about one of my teammates, Elster, being great.
And because you slept all night for the first time in your entire life.
Yep, truly.
So, the day is yours after you guys complete your breakfasts. As you leave the Sword's Rest Inn itself, you see that there are 4 fresh quarter horses that have been tied up to a post outside the Sword's Rest, and there's a young squire there in front of them, and they say, he recognizes you and says, Razzler, Razzler and the Dazzlers, right? And, you're the Founders champion. Seeing Elster.
Is it crap?
And it is not. And he
No.
says, the council told me to bring you these horses so that whatever mission you're on, I'm sure it's super important, but whatever mission you're on, you can get there really fast. So these are yours. Can I have your autograph?
Absolutely. And I clap him on his shoulder, and say, thanks for those.
We got a celebrity. That's awesome.
All right. So what would you guys like to do? You guys are in Waterdeep with 4 horses. Anything you guys want to do in Waterdeep before heading out? I will bring you over to the map.
Andy brought up a question of, am I just going to be a paladin and we not talk about it? Or should I go to the order and maybe take an oath? Or...
That's a good question. What would you like to do?
Well, I know that my guy comes to me when I get like perfect music. Otherwise, I could take an oath because we've seen so much bad and I'm starting to feel good.
Okay.
I'm going to take a more righteous path.
Okay.
That warms my heart.
Well, I did see
Cold,
that
dead
there
heart.
is a whole set of paladins that just bring bards with them places so that they can sing of their tales, like Sir Robin.
Bravely rode Sir Robin.
I heard that tale and thought about us, so I'm kind of trying to recreate it, maybe.
Robin has 2 syllables. Gaius has 2 syllables. So it'd be really easy to create a song
You
about
can
Gaius.
just borrow some.
Sample some
Yeah.
some parts.
So, town-wise, errand-wise, we got all of our armor, we got all of our upgrades and all of our weapons and stuff. We sold all our stuff, right?
Right.
Just confirming with the group here.
We sold everything I know about.
Yeah, I think we got everything we needed.
And I got my upgraded armor, and you got your thing and sword, and you got your new. Everyone got their cool new stuff, right?
Yep, I got my hat and my bag.
And we got potions.
we
I
got
think. How does Razzler seem to walk in his armor? Does he seem unnaturally comfortable in it?
No, I mean it
Sure.
seems. I mean, what do you mean? I'm confused.
Razzler pulls off all outfits usually.
Well, my thought is like the use of the armor. How to use it is something that can be bestowed upon you by a deity. I'm just wondering if maybe something like that had happened or not.
Fair enough.
I mean, the armor has fixed itself to him. He has the ability to wear it. He has not yet gone through any sort of ceremony to dedicate himself to any specific deity.
That's
So-
true.
Are you really a paladin until you do that?
That is true. Though I remember the armor like shrinking to his size or
Yeah, that
growing
was
or
pretty
whatever
cool.
it did.
Yeah.
Well, are you guys asking me then? You guys
Yeah,
put-
I wouldn't mind exploring that a little bit if you want to explore the side of the light.
Okay,
Gaius would
well,
definitely be into that.
Or dark, your choice.
That's my choice.
Akrus.
Kind of paladin you trying to be there, bud.
The side of the gray.
A strong one, you know. It doesn't
So let's do that, and then also I think we talked about maybe going and sniffing for answers inside the Knight of the Order, or the Order of the this, what was
Or the
it?
gauntlet.
Order of the Gauntlet. Yeah,
Isn't it your order?
It is.
Okay.
Speaking of paladins who aren't really devoted to anything,
The Knight of the Gloved Hand or whatever the fuck it is.
all right. So what are you guys gonna do?
Well, I've got nothing. I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank on this one.
Well,
We can go to the chapel or the place and just I can try to swear an oath, get baptized or whatever.
Well, this like where would this does Razzler have like a god in mind that we need to go to the temple of that god? I don't know. You know?
He was the one that we were talking about before, Millie.
Yeah. So is there
Yeah.
like we need to ask around for like a temple of Melili or whatever and check that out? Or I doubt there's like a huge order of paladins to this person. But
It
maybe.
would probably be an order of bards.
There you
right?
go.
College of Bards. We did ask where a music place was, didn't we?
We went to an instrument place that made my violin or whatever, right?
You did? Yeah, you went to the. There was a school of music in Waterdeep.
Yeah.
That you went and got the.
So,
the
We could
violin.
go there and ask, I guess. Razzler, if you want to.
Well, what was the plan otherwise, Rick? Because if not, like, if I can still use all my stuff right now, we can just go with.
Well, we didn't really have a plan, right? Except for we have a mission. So at
Yeah,
some point,
Andy
we
brought
need
up
to,
going to kill giants.
yeah, we need
Well,
to
yeah,
head
let's-
towards that. So if we want anything to do now in town, Waterdeep, we need to do it now because we're leaving, right? So
Fair enough. All right, well, let's go to the closest order and talk to him about converting.
What is the name of your deity?
Mill.
No.
I gotta look him up.
Yeah, you guys had been given a mission from the Council of Waterdeep to go to a town by the name of Rivermoot to the north and east of Waterdeep and investigate these sort of attacks on the town by these coordinated bands of giants.
yeah.
Which they thought was weird because giants don't normally work together, based on what
Correct.
we're told, right?
Yeah,
So
it was fire giants and frost giants and hill giants, which they don't.
Oh,
giants
really?
are very tribal and they don't normally work together in that way.
Yeah. Milil?
So Melil is the Faerunian god of song, poetry, eloquence, creativity, and inspiration.
I mean, those words describe Razzler to a T, in my opinion. So Gaius would encourage
So
Razzler to
my
pursue
idea
that.
for finding this god was he comes to you when you hit perfect songs or perfect tunes. I wanted to keep trying to hit performances or just do our bands until I could get a high enough roll to have a glimpse of him, and then from then on I would want to become a paladin so that I could worship that god. That was kind of my idea.
okay, so find more opportunities to play music, and if you nail that perfect outcome that you're looking for, maybe you'll see something.
Right. That was sort of the idea that I was going for at all. I would still be down to go
That's a
to a
cool
Paladin temple, but that was sort of the idea I was going for. And then I don't know what the Song of Perfect or the Book of Perfect Songs was. Maybe that gives me advantage roll on my performance rolls, or I don't know what that book would give me, but I was going to use that more often too.
Maybe we should go perform at Millwheel's temple.
I can roll a lot of performance checks between here and wherever we go.
That's fair.
We're going to need a travel song. We're going to need a breakfast song.
Second breakfast song.
A lively tune.
I think we should go check out the Millil's temple if there's one in Water.
Yeah, see if there is one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, this is kind of in character. You've kind of brought this up, and like, you know, you've expressed interest in this, and
Is there a temple of such kind? Town, Rick?
Roll an investigation check as you ask
Oh.
around town as you're walking through the streets. Actually,
I'll
roll with
help him.
advantage since you've got the Founders Day champion with you, and you're attracting a lot of attention that way anyway.
I just yell, "We're looking for Millil!"
This is
They're like,
exciting
it's
walking with
pronounced
So
Millil.
27. So yeah, so pretty quickly between asking around a few people that are walking around and kind of the crowds that kind of gather around Elster as they see the Founders Day champion's pin, kind of, you know, pinned to his garment, his clothing, you're able to pretty easily determine that there is a Temple of Good Cheer that is on the corner of Fishwife Alley and Slop Street. And
Perfect.
that is a temple that serves both Millil and another goddess by the name of Lyra.
Okay, that sounds cool.
So,
Okay.
Fishwife
Wow.
and Slop Street is what you're looking for. Let's see, where's Slop
I've seen
Street
Slop Street.
at? Yeah,
somewhere.
it's around. It's
Yeah.
right. It's actually not too far from where you guys are. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Fishwife. That
It's
sounds-
south, near the Way of the Dragon. It's
Oh,
the
yeah,
street
here
above
it
it,
is.
very south of town.
Also, I can turn my camera on now if you guys are ready.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
there's
let
Fishwife
me-
Alley.
Let's hope
So,
that
like,
this
here?
doesn't break everything. All right, ready, go. Turn the camera on. Yes,
Quickly,
we did it.
quickly.
Look at that. We're amazing.
Hey, there he is.
First time tonight, technically, something
Nice.
went correctly.
Hey,
Good.
stay fair.
Yay.
All right, so, Elster is pinging right there, the corner of Fishwife Alley and Slop Street. So it's just south of you on the high road, actually not very far from where you are.
I gotta bring up the stream on my phone. All right, well, let's keep going, guys.
Pretty
Yeah.
near the Beer Golem, which is a great name for what I'm presuming is a tavern.
Okay.
It could be. You never know.
We
The
need to
beer,
go check
the Beer
that out.
Golem.
So you guys make your way down the high road, following your instructions. You sort of head down to the corner of Slop Street and Fishwife Alley. This actually is right next to the stable where you guys kept your single horse and cart that you checked in when you first came to Waterdeep. And you see in front of you the Temple of Good Cheer. It's a beautiful sort of marble building, gold gilting on above it, and there's symbols of the arts sort of everywhere. There are, in the architecture itself, you see musical notes, you see pens and quills writing poetry, you see individuals that are carved looking to be singing or acting. It looks like this is a temple that kind of celebrates all of the performing arts.
Cool. So there's a lot of music, huh?
You
I'm
do hear
going
some
to-
music definitely coming from inside. The doors are open. And at this
I'm gonna
early
play a
point in the
tiny
morning-
tune quietly as we walk in.
Sure.
Ooh.
You sort of just play something simple on the way in. As you enter this temple itself, you see that all the walls are covered in sort of a rich red velvet. There are large symbols. The symbol of Lyra is this sort of triangular. There's 3 stars in a triangle, and they're each connected by lines. And the symbol of Malil is this silver harp with these sort of leaves and vines kind of twirling around the structure of the harp itself. And you see that these symbols are sort of hung against these red velvet, almost like large draperies that adorn all the walls. As you look around, there's a beautiful fountain in the center of the temple itself. And you see a depiction of Malil. And Malil is depicted in sort of sitting cross-legged on this fountain. It's a male, humanoid, kind of closely cropped hair. This is like a marble statue, and he's holding a lyre, and he's in the process of playing. And you see that the water from the fountain kind of comes out at his feet and just kind of cascades down below him. You can see that there are individuals that are offering coins into the fountain as an offering to Malil. And as you look around further, you see that there are individuals that are playing different instruments, or sitting and reciting poetry, or singing quietly as they kind of join in this sort of cacophony of sound that echoes around all of the temple, but somehow comes together to form one kind of continuous beating song that's coming through this temple. As you guys walk in, a beautiful woman, probably in her late 20s, early 30s, blonde hair kind of done up on her head and kind of comes in ringlets down around on the side of her face. She's wearing sort of a white sort of robe as she comes forward, and she bows to you. And she introduces herself as Archeum Aaron, High Priestess of Malil. And she looks at you and she says, "I noticed your excellent playing as you were coming in. What is your name, Sir Bard?"
I'm Razzler of the Dazzlers, featuring Akrus.
Wonderful to meet you, Razzler. What brings you to the Temple of Good Cheer?
I've been changing my life recently, and have been looking for something higher.
As we all do.
My songs have been getting better and better, and I feel like I'm reaching a new limit. And I feel like maybe God could teach me the way.
And you wish that to be Malil?
I do.
And how do you hope to serve Malil?
Through good tunes and parties. And good deeds.
So, do you wish to join the Harmonious Order then?
I would. Especially if I can get a robe like what you're wearing.
She sort of laughs and smiles. You see, just as she smiles, just kind of the ever slight hint of some smile lines at the corners of her eyes, as you can tell that this is a face that is used to a lot of happiness and joy and mirth. She nods. She says, "That can be arranged. But first, do you yourself dedicate yourself to Malil and the spreading of wonderful music to all of the lands?
I have, yes, all my life.
And do you promise to aid others who also share in this desire to spread music and joy throughout Faerun?
I do.
Then kneel and join the Order of the Harmonious Ones."
Razzler kneels.
Okay. She sort of takes a necklace from around her neck, and it's the symbol of Malil, that sort of silver harp with the leaves and vines kind of twirling around it. She hangs it around your neck, and it kind of clinks against your plate armor as it does so, and you reach down and kind of grab hold of it, and you feel there is a power there. There is a certain arcane energy coming from it. She nods and she says, "Rise, newest member of the Harmonious Order."
When I stand up, I want to do that hair flick that you can do if you have long hair.
Roll a dexterity check as you do so.
It's so metal. Wish I had hair.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's an 8.
So you try. I mean, it's not bad, but you kind of crick your
Armor
neck just a
stiff.
little bit. You're like, oh, and it's not quite as smooth as you once thought. And Archeum sort of just chuckles, and she says, "You will do well."
Gaius is actively shedding tears over here. He's like smiling, and tears are coming down his cheeks. He thinks it's so beautiful. Oh, that's awesome.
Now I'll be more powerful, and I'll be able to use healing spells.
So she nods and kind of turns from you and goes to another individual who's come into the temple and begins to speak with them as well.
Wow, that really makes you feel like just a glass door, a sliding door, you know, just pushing people in and out. Okay, well, let's go, guys.
All right, so you guys make your way back out of the temple itself. Anything else you guys would like to do while you're here in Waterdeep?
Did you guys want to go to the Order of the Gauntlet or no? It's up to you guys.
Whatever. I mean, we did have some questions. They're the ones that sent the Order of Paladins after these giants before us, right? That didn't return. So.
Right. That's true. I guess we should find that out.
So where are you guys going?
Order of the Gauntlet.
Order of the Gloved Fist.
The Gauntlet. All right. So you make your way back up the high road, past the Sword's Rest, and at the intersection of the high road and River Street, you come to the building of the Order of the Gauntlet. In somewhat contrast to the Temple of Good Cheer, the outside of the Order of the Gauntlet is a bit more austere, a bit more regimented. The architecture is all sort of right angles and vertical surfaces. And you see in the front, there is a single sort of granite sculpture of a mailed fist that is closed, the symbol of the order. As you guys approach, there are two young paladins sort of standing on either side of that sculpture. What's your business?
Holiness.
I'm a paladin of the Order of the Gauntlet. I wish to, I seek information before we must go on our quest.
What sort of information? What are you looking for here, Sir Paladin?
Some of our brethren went out to quell some giants and never returned. Is that true?
It is.
We have been quested to go find them. We need some information.
Quested by whom?
I look at the guys. I look at the group.
The High Inquisitor.
The High Inquisitor quested you to go to investigate giants.
We're a bunch of good guys. You sure are coming off aggressive and defensive.
Well,
A lot of
these
weird
are
questions.
uncertain
Wish we were on the
times.
same team.
These are uncertain times, sir. I'm sure you can understand that. Wait here one moment. He sort of steps inside these large iron doors, heavy iron doors, pulls one open, and you hear it kind of slam back behind him.
So now that when he goes out, I kind of like pull you guys all together, and I'm like, now that I'm here, I feel different. I feel wary about telling too much information. What do you guys think? This seems weird. How much should we tell
They
these
are
guys?
coming off as a gang.
Yeah.
We are all not paladins. You're the only paladin here.
I don't know anything about these guys, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it didn't seem so stuffy last time. So closed.
No, Also, on this day, we don't have to reveal our hand. We just here's what we heard, and we're looking for any info you can provide because we're trying to help the town of Waterdeep.
Why did we tell him that the High Inquisitor sent him?
That's what I was wondering about too, but I guess we can't go back.
At this point, the door kind of opens again, and the same young paladin comes out and he says, "The clerk will see you here shortly. Please come with me." He brings you through the actual door itself and into sort of this large, very clean, very sparsely furnished inner chamber. You see a single sculpture similar to what's out front, but larger this time, and also kind of not gilded, but perhaps covered in some sort of a bronze leaf or something. Again, the mailed fist of the Order of the Gauntlet. You look around and there are paladins and different individuals going about their daily business, each kind of keeping to themselves, walking from room to room. And one comes forward, individual humanoid, kind of medium build, spectacles on the nose, comes forward in these sort of white robes with a reddish sort of trim to them, gold leaf kind of coming up the trim. And he bows to you and he says, "Welcome to the Order of the Gauntlet. I am Solari Kern, clerk for the High Inquisitor. Please come with me."
Okay.
Let me see if I have... Do I have a picture of Solari Kern? Let me look and see if I have a picture of Solari Kern.
If he has a particular type of walk, I want to mimic it.
All right, he does. It's rather stuffy. It's very upright, and he sort of takes these very short, kind of jerky steps. And you can tell that he's wearing some sort of a hard-soled shoe, because each of his steps sort of echoes along the walls as it's just sort of click, 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 click as he's sort of walking across the area there.
I want to try to mimic that completely. Let me find my character. Do I have to roll?
Oh, very nice.
That's a picture.
I kind of lean my head in. Do you guys want to try to confront the High Inquisitor if we can?
Is this a different High Inquisitor than
No,
Quest?
I think this is
The
Sir,
same High Inquisitor?
What is your High Inquisitor?
All your questions will be answered in the offices, please. He sort of keeps walking through. He leads you through sort of a maze of corridors, and you go to sort of a side corridor with a bunch of very sort of austere, unremarkable, very similar-looking doors. He goes to the third one on the right, takes a key from his pocket, unlocks it, and opens it, and you see there is a very well-kept, perfectly clean office with neat sort of racks of scrolls and tomes put away perfectly in their place. And he goes in the office itself and sits behind the desk and gets out his quill, sort of opens up the ledger, says, "Please, have a seat." You guys all enter and you're sort of seated on these hard wooden chairs. There's no cushion, it's just sort of straight, just kind of a wooden stool there. And the door closes behind you and he says, "Now, your questions you were saying?"
Which High Inquisitor is it that you are a clerk for?
"I thought you said you were a paladin of the Order."
Okay, so out of character, would I know that there's only one High Inquisitor?
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Eh.
Okay. So
It was just a test.
And you passed!
we seek information about the paladins that never returned from the Giants. Did you learn anything else about them? Has any come back, or are they still lost?
Let me see. He kind of flips back through the journal a few pages back. He says, yes. Here, a group of 6 initiate paladins were sent by the direct order of the High Inquisitor himself to the town of Rivermoot to free the populace of the horrible incursion of giants. And that was 14 days ago today.
How old were they?
How old? I don't have that information here. They were initiates, so probably somewhat young.
You sent
Hmm.
6 initiates to go hunt giants.
The High Inquisitor sent 6 initiates to go investigate and return with information.
Right.
Gaius just kind of shakes his head. 14 days ago.
That's about a fortnight
Indeed.
or 2 weeks.
Y-
Almost.
Do you have their names?
Yes, I have them here somewhere. Yes, right here. All 6. You say you've been tasked to go to the same area.
Yes.
I guess that's what
Tasked
we
by
said.
whom, should I say?
God.
Is someone serious going to answer the question, or is it going to be this individual over here?
You mean this other paladin? He's
Not
very
of our
serious.
order, clearly. And he sort of sneers at your little harp that's you're
Can
wearing.
you reverse prestidigitation, people?
And put dirt on him.
Yeah, make them dirtier.
I don't believe those who quested us wish it to be widely known. I am not sure if I can tell you.
Is he looking at us while Andy's talking to him?
Mm-hmm. He's sort of looking at all of you. He's kind of sitting behind his desk. He's kind of
He definitely
over the top
doesn't
of
have
his
his back
spectacles.
turned making tea, right?
He definitely does
not
have
that.
his back turned.
Okay.
Let's check.
He looks at you and his eyes narrow, Gaius, and he kind of adjusts his spectacles. He says, "So, the front guard told me someone in your party had said the High Inquisitor informed you to go to Rivermoot. Now you're telling me it's not true?"
Kind of look
Oh, we
back
never said that.
at Akrus. Like, I don't remember what you said. What did you say? I don't.
Got us in
remember.
the door.
We were tasked by the town. It seemed like.
Yeah, the leaders of this town, leaders of Waterdeep.
Did you inform these people's families that they're all gone?
Who says they're gone? They simply haven't returned.
How long is the wait until they have been decided to be dead?
Well, I suppose we would have to send another group. But the High Inquisitor has not decided to do so as yet. He's giving them time to return.
Oh, okay. Well, how about we go look for them just early, just in case?
Well, suit yourself.
Okay. We suited.
I think it's important to go see and rescue 6 initiates if they're in trouble.
Do
Don't
we
you?
have any other questions? To maybe anything? What did we need to?
Is the High Inquisitor in?
Unfortunately, no. He left on business just a few days ago.
Well, where did he go? In case we might come across him, I would love to pay my respects to him.
Well, that's very nice. I'll pass your respects along, but of course the High Inquisitor's business is highly secret and confidential.
Okay. How long have you been
Can I-
working for him anyway?
Oh, probably 7 or 8 years now.
I'd like to try to tie his shoes together.
How are you going to do that?
Just like telekinesis.
Do you have
and
telekinesis?
just- maybe. Oh,
Do you have a
never
mage
mind. I
hand or
guess I
something?
don't anymore. Never mind. I leveled up and switched it.
See?
A bit.
There you go.
How about sleight of hand?
Well, you'd have to get under the table. He's behind a desk. Might be a little obvious.
Okay.
Could be funny though.
Yeah, just
Okay.
And hear the beginning of it, but you should definitely do whatever it is you're
Just
thinking.
accidentally drop something, and when you bend down to pick it up.
yeah. Well, gentlemen, we are here in the office of the High Inquisitor, whom we know well. Is there any questions that we have for his clerk before we go?
No.
Not for the clerk. No.
Yes, well, then, wonderful to meet all of you. Sir Gaius, as always, you're always welcome here. Please, show yourself out. I'm
Do
very
I
busy.
believe him when he said that he enjoyed meeting us?
Roll an insight check.
Inside check.
17.
Yeah, he did not enjoy meeting you at all. He didn't want you out of his office.
That's kind of what I figured.
Sir, what was your name again? Salary Kern? Salary? Should we call you Salary?
It's
It's-
Solari. Kern.
Solari Kern.
Yes.
Sure.
Can we see what his disposition is towards the High Inquisitor?
Salami.
How are you going to do that?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Well, you need to ask him questions about the High Inquisitor and see what he does.
I guess, yeah. What about, did he say? Yeah,
Hmm.
I've got nothing. I don't know what we would ask.
I'd just like to pass along a message to the High Inquisitor from me, if you would.
Of course, 1 moment. And he sort of ruffles through some paper, pulls out a fresh sheet of parchment, perfectly sharpens the tip of his quill, dips it in the ink. Yes, your message.
Returned, and we will meet soon.
And who shall I say it's from?
You just said my name.
Gaius, what's your last? Do you have a surname, or is it just Gaius?
Just say Gaius, and he'll know.
Very well.
Out of character question, is Razzler still ripping pink farts while we're in here?
No, that potion wore off, unfortunately.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
shoot.
Although you could take a little nip of it if you want.
Yeah, I got a message for him. Name that smell.
Do I still have any of that potion left over?
Oh yeah, you just took like a little sip of it. He gave you like the rest of the vial.
Does this guy have a drink on the table?
Roll a perception check.
I want to see this.
Dude, that would be amazing.
You do in fact see a steaming cup of coffee on the right-hand side of his desk.
When he's writing, can I see if I can just put a little drop of the pink stuff into the...
Yeah, roll sleight of hand.
Oh, man.
Natty 20. There it is. And here comes Thomas the Train.
Oh, no, here we go.
All right, so yeah, I mean, you guys kind of watch, and the other three of you are just kind of trying to hold in your Snickers as you watch Razzler kind of just stealthily uncork the bottle and bring it over while he's writing Gaius's message and just bloop bloop bloop, like 3 drops in the coffee, recork it, put it back.
I approve.
As each drop kind of hits the coffee, you see these little puffs of pink steam come out just for a moment as it hits the coffee itself.
Right on.
That's it. Coffee is a dietary supplement.
So he finishes kind of doing his note and looks up at each of you and he says, "Will there be anything else?"
We'll see ourselves out.
"Please do." And he takes
Thank
the
you
coffee
for your
mug and sort
time.
of takes a little sip and puts it down. He says, "Nice to meet all of you." You guys
All right,
leave
we
the
leave.
office itself and you close the door and you're about halfway down the hall when you hear this, "What in the world?"
We take off running.
Yeah, move a little bit quicker.
Cheese it, boys.
So you guys make your way out of the Order of the Gauntlet, back out into the streets of Waterdeep. Anything else you'd like to do? Any more trouble you'd like to cause?
What did the Taroka card say about this order? It said something. I can't
Did it?
remember.
It's someone you can't trust in the order or whatever, right?
Oh, all is not as it seems, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
How do you get to the Taroka cards? I can't seem to find it.
You click on the book, maybe?
It might have been deleted.
I think they're gone.
That is possible because I had to purge some things to make room for other things.
Okay.
So, but yeah, your Taroka reading from the Valley of Innistrad was basically that all was not as it seems in the order that you serve.
I feel we might be marked men, guys.
By who?
Soren Markov.
We'll have to see.
Okay.
That he knows we're
Okay.
back. We'll see what happens.
I'm
Once
gonna
we
ask,
get a few
who is that?
steps. Oh god.
Gaius, you seek virtue and justice. All is not as it seems in the house you serve.
There you go.
I went to roll 20 to look at it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
All right. Anything else you guys want to do here in Waterdeep?
Once we get a few steps away from the order, I just turn to Gaius and go, the order's kind of a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of any of those guys.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't dicks the last time I was here. I don't know what's going on. That one guy. Have I met that guy before? No,
When
'cause I'm
were
from-
you here last?
I'm from Neverwinter.
You actually were best friends with him in grade school.
Yeah, that didn't seem right at all.
I'm gonna say maybe you've changed, Gaius. Maybe you see the ways of the order now.
You know, that actually is very true, I think, in many ways. You were wise, Razzler.
Well, anyway, those guys suck. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm
anyway,
gonna play-
start a blast.
I'm gonna play a little victorious too. It's okay.
Yeah. So you guys are making your way through the streets on the backs of your fresh horses. Razzler, you're being kind of jostled a little bit as you ride, and you miss a few notes, but it's passable. You guys make your way through the town of Waterdeep itself and make your way towards the northern gates. As you pass through the northern gates, the guards themselves give a cheer as they see the Founders Day champion pass through the gates. They all sort of nod at Elster approvingly as he passes through. And you guys begin to make your way back out into the countryside of the Sword Coast.
Right.
Let me pull up the Sword Coast map here.
We should, make some Elster t-shirts and hats and see if we can sell them in town to the kids. You know?
All right. So you guys are here. If you go, I don't know if you guys have figure out where Waterdeep is.
Yep.
And if you look up kind of almost directly northeast of you, you will see the town of Rivermoot. It's probably about a 2 to 3 day trek from where you are, even by horseback.
Mm-hmm.
So which way would you guys like to go? There's a northern road up towards Neverwinter, and then you could cut right, or you could go straight up the road that you sort of have here through the kind of towns of Amphail and Rassalanton.
Are there travelers on the road as we're coming in or out? Or
Oh
whatever?
yeah, there's lots of travel
Okay.
in and out of Waterdeep at most times of the day.
Any of them look like merchants or? You know,
Yeah, some
okay.
leaving.
I
some
would like
coming.
I would like to approach some of them coming, and just ask them what the quickest way to Rivermoot is. Not necessarily the safest, but the quickest.
Yeah, roll an investigation check. Yeah, so after asking a few, you find one that's kind of familiar with the Rivermoot area. He says that basically the fastest way to get there would to be go up through Amphail to the north, and he says that there's a town there called Tribor, and from Tribor you can kind of follow. There is a not very traveled trail that leaves from a town that's just to the east of Tribor called Yartar, and that will go straight up to Rivermoot.
All right, and I thank him for the information, and I want to hand him a gold coin,
Okay.
gold piece.
He sort of nods,
Holy
kind of knuckles
cow,
the gold
dude.
coin to his
Elster
head
did it.
and puts it in his pocket.
All right.
So
Fame.
If you guys wanted to hug the coast, we could stop by Phandalin and see if Victor's back there. Didn't he get
Well-
kicked out of Neverwinter from what we were told?
He did,
From
yeah.
what
You
we were
heard
told.
from the potion maker that he blew off half of the alchemy school and was banned
And it's
from
like
the
banned.
city forever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What a whore.
I mean, I don't care that much about doing that right now, but it would be nice to find him at some point, I think.
Maybe on the way back.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a ways out of the way, really.
Yeah, I guess it is. You gotta go too far to the west. Okay.
All right, so you guys begin to make your way to the north, following the trail here towards Tribor. Let me reveal the trail here. Up to the town of Tribor.
Right. Yeah, we're familiar with the Tribor Trail. I remember
You
that
are,
from
yeah.
Phandalin.
It's sort of
It was in
similar to
Phandelver.
where you went from
Mhm.
Phandelver. So you make your way up to Tribor on your first night.
Oh my gosh. I do remember this. This is crazy.
Yeah. All right, so you pass through a town by the name of Westbridge, which is here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also another town by the name of Red Parch.
Okay. While we're traveling, I would like
Sorry, Red
to
Parch.
work with Razzler and try to compose a song about how I'm so happy we're not in Barovia anymore.
Okay.
The
You and
happy song.
Razzler Both
Yeah.
do some performance checks, please. Both of you.
Yeah. Not much up to you there, big guy.
So Razzler, you are sort of coming up with these really sort of beautiful, nuanced lyrics, you know, sort of talking about the emotion of what it's like to not be in
That dark,
you know,
desolate
that dark,
place.
desolate place. And then Elster's just kind of chiming in with, yeah, I'm happy too. And that's like all he's got.
We did it together, but it was mostly you.
Like
He's
really
still
bad,
learning the violin.
like really bad kind of rhymes, and you're just kind of shaking your head as you guys are going along, and you're like, nope, not going to use that one. Kind of making the rest of the song
Good.
as you
Good job, Elster. Good.
We'll get you there, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys make your way up to the town of Tribor itself. You are able to find a room at the local inn, and you spend the first night of your journey in Tribor.
Is there anything that stands out about this town?
Tribor is sort of one of the larger towns in this area. It kind of serves as more of a waypoint for folks heading to other places. So as such, it has a lot of sort of like, you know, stablery and taverns and inns and that sort of thing. Places where people, you know, kind of wayfarers could come through and spend an evening and then head on to wherever they're going. But otherwise, nothing particular stands out to you,
A place where someone could go missing and never be missed.
perhaps.
Is Victor here?
All right, so you wake up the next morning and you continue on your journey through to the town of Yartar.
Okay.
Oh, Yartar.
I'd like to call Fiendish Resistance against. What would that just be? Like bludgeoning damage?
You want to do bludgeoning?
Hmm.
I'm trying to think of what giants would do, and I feel like if they're gonna punch
Probably
you,
club you or something.
yeah, it's a bludgeoning probably.
They're probably not going to have like a sword.
Yeah,
It'd be some big tree that they're just beating you. Trees.
Trees.
Tree damage.
Oh,
Nature.
yes. That makes sense. He's scared of trees, remember?
Yeah, you have good
You-
experiences with trees.
Are you still scared
Yeah.
of trees, Akrus?
oh, 100%.
Okay. Have we noticed you like walking
Shy.
over? If there's trees next to the side of one side of the road, you like go to the other side.
Do the yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Does that include shade? Like you won't stand in shade from a tree?
Just what is the
As long
extent?
as it's not windy, I guess. I don't want to seem like the.
It's like it's moving. Oh, look
Yeah.
at it.
like, I don't know.
He doesn't like any trees at all.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys make your way from the city, or from the small, probably medium-sized town of Yartar, through the Dasaran Valley, and you notice that as you're moving further and further from the coast, you're starting to get into these foothills and valleys, and you can kind of see in the distance the huge peaks of the spine of the world, sort of off in the distance to the north. As you're traveling, the peaks are all snow-capped, and you can see the clouds kind of swirling around the peaks of these huge mountains that make up the spine of the world.
How many miles is that? How far is that roughly?
To the spine of the world?
Yeah.
Probably about 50 to 60 miles.
Okay. Wow.
Something like that.
They're huge then. That's awesome.
So, you guys make your way north through Yartar, through the valley, and you come up to the Cerbran River here, and you just begin to follow the river up to the small town of Mornbryn Shield. This is a very small village of farmers and fishermen, just a few dwellings, nothing significant here at all. You follow the trail itself, again, following the river to the small town of Nesme. To your right, there is the Evermoors, which is a sort of a swamp-like area that's in this sort of large depression in between all of these foothills. And I'll do the Evermoors here. Reveal some map things. There we go.
I don't want to go into the swamp.
You do, just at the close of dusk, make your way to the town of Rivermoot itself. You notice that the closer you're getting to these sort of foothills and mountains, the weather is getting damper. The ground under your feet is getting soggy, and the hooves of your horses begin to sort of get sucked in the mud with each step. There's sort of a little bit of a fog and a mist that's kind of hanging over everything at this altitude. You come to
Our horses' feet are starting to get stuck in the mud.
a little bit, yeah.
Hmm.
You come to the
I've
town
seen movies where this
itself.
doesn't end well, guys.
I'm surprised you guys didn't say anything about the mist after being in Curse of Strahd for so long. You're like, no,
Oh my God.
mist.
Okay.
Don't
Don't
Oh
go
my
in the
God.
mist. Don't go in the mist.
All right, so you guys make your way to the town itself, and as you approach the town, you see that it has been ravaged. You see that much of the town is in shambles. You see where there were sort of a basic wall that was around the town. It's been smashed in multiple places. You see, as you come up, you see some villagers that are trying to rebuild the wall. They're trying to put up some makeshift barriers. They've sharpened sort of these long, straight tree trunks into kind of long pikes that they're driving into the ground where the breaches in the walls are, just to try and come up with some sort of a defense. As you come down into the city itself, into the village itself, you see that there are, in the field that goes towards the hills, you see there are a few dead and rotting bodies of giants that are sort of laying in this field in the foothills, along with countless what appear to be bodies of townsfolk and humanoid creatures that are sort of strewn around this battlefield. At the gates itself, you're stopped by a young individual, sort of a makeshift breastplate. It's really nothing more than like a metal kind of a kitchen utensil, almost like a serving tray that he's kind of strapped to his chest. And he's got this, what you would think is supposed to be a spear. It's basically just a long stick that's been sharpened at the end. And he sort of comes up to you and he sees you all approaching on these, quarter horses with shining armor and weapons and everything. And he says, "Halt! What's your business in the town?"
We were sent from Waterdeep to investigate what's going on with these giant attacks.
And he looks over at who's speaking and he sees Akrus. And you see his eyes go wide and his face, kind of the blood seems to drain out of his face. And he says, "Don't move! Don't you move!" He runs back inside behind the fence.
Son.
Hmm.
I'm from the Order of the Gauntlet, come to help. Don't be afraid of us. We are friends.
So your words kind of just echo against the side of the wall as he's already disappeared behind. A few moments later, not very long, a few moments later, you see a humanoid man, graying at the temples, gray beard, kind of step out. He's got a longsword at his side. He's got a shirt of chainmail on. He looks at you and he says, "I'm the constable here. What's your business?"
I motion to Razzler.
Well, we're here to help you in your town, sir.
"Help us
And
how?"
I grab onto my belt buckle and like hold it tight like a cowboy does.
He looks at you and he says, "You said you're here to help us. Who sent you?"
Well, we heard you got giants up here.
"Yeah, and?"
We were hoping to help you drive them away or take them down. We're a group of adventurers, and we're here to do good deeds. We want to help good people.
Kind of looks across the group of you and his eyes land on Akrus. He kind of walks over and he's got his hand on the hilt of his sword and he looks up at you. He kind of grabs your horse by the reins, steadies it, and he says, "What's with your friend here?"
Oh, he's a sorcerer. You know the sorcery types. You know, just some tattoos and whatnot. He's a really good guy, though.
"Yeah, well, those markings on his face, we've seen them before.
Where?
So,
On his face.
exactly. Well, you might want to talk to the only member of the town's guard that survived the last attack. He may have more information for you, but I'd suggest you hide your face. People ain't gonna like that around here."
I throw my hood over.
Does my cloak have a hood on it?
Yeah, most cloaks would. Yeah, have a little traveling cloak
It's
with a
the
hood on it.
what's that one? What is that cloak called? I can't remember now.
He kind of leads you guys into the town, and the young guard kind of comes up to you. He's like, "It's all right, I got this, son." He takes you into the center of town to the constable's office itself. I'm going to move you guys over to the town of Rivermoot map.
I think I lost my cloak.
You lost your cloak. Oh no.
Yeah, it's not in my inventory.
You been naked this whole time?
Oh, I know. I know
So
where it is.
disappointing.
I can't
It's in the
remember
a-
what it's called either.
It's in the Amber Temple. We'll,
Something's not right with
we'll
this
head back
scene.
and
I
get
gotta
it.
fix it.
Did you leave it on the line?
Hang on a second.
I'm sure D&D Beyond ate it because it's stupid. But
Why is it not?
I guess it's a cape. Does that have a hood?
Yeah.
Cape. I don't think a cape would have a hood.
Little Red Riding Hood's hood does, or is that a cloak?
Are
Or is
you
it a
guys just
hood?
getting a gray screen?
No,
No.
see.
I'm not.
I
Stream
see the
is.
map. Yeah.
The stream
You can
is,
see the
yeah.
map? Why is the stream
Yeah, we can
not
see it.
seeing the map?
It looks kind of cartoony.
Maybe
Let me see what it
reload the stream's
Let me
feed.
see if I can do that. I'm gonna reload the stream's feed because for some reason the stream's not seeing the map.
It's now a good time for a bio break.
It is a good time for bio break. Let's take 5 minutes and I'll see if I can fix the stream map and we'll come back. All right, so as we pick it up after our little bio break, you guys have reached the town of Rivermoot at the foothills, the beginning of what is called the Frost Hills as they lead up towards the spine of the world itself, the mountain range. You were greeted at the gate by the town constable, and he sort of escorts you over to the local constable's office and jail. You pass the only tavern. He introduces you to the Come On Inn, which is the only tavern in the town.
What about the Drunken Duck? What is that?
He tells you that the Drunken Duck is not an inn, but it is a tavern. So if you'd like to go knock a few cold ones back, you can do so there.
Gotcha.
The only supply store in town is Cusk's General Wares. And he takes you past there here to the to his offices and the town jail.
Huh.
He invites you inside and he says, "It's probably best we talk inside."
Yup. And I pull up my belt buckle a little bit more and walk in, kind of like a cowboy.
All right.
That's awesome.
Like he's been riding a horse for days.
Mm-hmm.
Which he has, actually.
Exactly.
So the constable sits at his desk there, kind of puts his boots up onto the table. It's a very sparse office, simple wooden table, single chair, two very simple cells with just some metal bars and a simple door there. And he looks at you each and he says, "So, you never did tell me who sent you here, supposedly to help us. My name's Odin. Odin Cusk. I'm the constable here at Rivermoot."
Nobody sent
Shopkeeper?
us. Or do you guys want to tell him, or what do you?
Just tell the High Inquisitor or whatever.
Okay,
Look
tell
for
him.
the
The
Paladin.
leader, someone of
No,
Waterdeep,
it wasn't
right?
the High Inquisitor. It was the
I know, but we've already gone with that story. And we're looking for the Paladins, are we not? Or are we giving up on them?
Yeah,
No,
I
We
don't
don't
know
give a
if I
shit
s-
about them? We're just gonna do our quest?
I don't know if I see a reason to lie to this guy. I guess. I don't know.
Perfect.
Well, Razzler probably does. He loves to lie. Let him do it.
Okay.
Come on, no. I mean, right? Because we weren't sent by the High Inquisitor. We were sent by that other.
The the Lords of Waterdeep, right? That's who
You were
sent
sent
us,
by
right?
the Council of Waterdeep, specifically by one of the masked lords of Waterdeep.
Right, the deep state.
Deep State, exactly.
Yes, in more ways than one.
The water deep
The
state.
Waterdeep State sent you.
We were sent by the Council of Waterdeep.
Do you have any sort of papers to that effect? He kind of reaches his hand out.
assume-
I wave my hand. You don't need to see any papers. We've been sent by them.
I want to point out that Strahd is in our chat.
Who is it?
Dude, we just killed
Yeah.
you.
Strahd
Oh no! He's come back.
lies that I've been defeated. That's what he said.
Then we had to beat Vampire after too.
I
Custom
know.
stuff.
right?
He's
It was
back, baby. I'm
That was
back.
a double whammy.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So he kind of nods and he says, "Well, we can use all the help we can get around here, as you could probably tell. It's been a rough patch, a rough few weeks now. There's been attacks over and over again, coordinated attacks by giants. This is something I've never seen before. I've lived here my whole life. Usually, giant will cross ways with the townsfolk, and they may chase them for a bit or whatever, but we can usually chase them off. Around here, mostly what we have is hill giants. They're big and they're tough and they hit real hard, but they're not super equipped above the neck, if you know what I mean. But these, they move in coordinated ways. They hit at different areas. They seem to be under the command of something.
Does that something have something to do with tentacles?
Well, I don't really know. They seem to have, usually when giants have hit our town before, they come after food or ale or something. These giants specifically seem to want to kidnap townspeople. They'd round them up, throw them in a big cart, and run off with them, not taking anything else. They had some...
What kind of townspeople?
All kinds. Men, women, children. Didn't matter. They just grabbed them all.
Well, that's really good of them. Diversity and equality.
He looks at you and he goes, I haven't been able to figure it out. We're just trying the best we can to hold on right now. I will say this though, there was reports. The one soldier that came back alive said they had some kind of magic users with them, which is really strange because giants abhor magic. But these were working together.
Perhaps the giants are are being controlled by the magic users.
It could be, I don't know. If you want to talk to the person that could tell you more, he's up in the infirmary laid up. The temple at the corner of town, north edge there. They've turned it into a makeshift hospital. Try and tend to the wounded.
Well, thank you. We're gonna be poking around town and we'll be on our way to stop these giants soon.
Well, I'd really appreciate it if you could. If you find anything else that could be of use for us as we try and defend against these things, please come let me know. You know where to find me. I'll be either here or working on shoring up the defenses.
Is there a cup or something on there, or tin on the ground somewhere? A spittoon?
Make a perception
A
check.
jug. Like a jug on there.
Just literally anything, maybe even a waistband or a basket. Perception check, hold on.
He's just sitting there spinning his revolver. Where'd you get that?
Do I see just anything on the ground?
There is a spittoon in the corner, yeah.
I want to spit at it.
All right, roll a
Thank you for your
roll
time,
a dexterity
sir.
attack as you try and hit the spittoon.
What are you doing to me, Rick? Why
Hey,
do you
man.
keep picking
He's making you
dexterity?
play the game.
Hey man, you're the and you're rolling like a boss, dude.
Yes.
It's like not only is it perfectly aimed, but it's perfectly aimed to where you get that really nice just ding when it hits in there, and it kind of rings.
Always
and
a performer.
As long as it impresses him, you know.
the constable kind of nods and he goes, "You might be worth something after all."
Why,
Full of my
tell me
higher
more about
ups.
the reaction to our friend.
We're gonna change the name to ourselves to Allstate. You're in good hands.
What did you say?
Why was that kid so scared of my friend Akrus? And why did you react that way?
Racist.
He kind of looks at you and he says, "Well, like I say, there were reports that some of those magic users had tattoos or scars or something on their face. Similar.
Many people have tattoos.
On their faces.
That are
It's like a
similar.
normal thing, you know? We're all just really big Mike Tyson fans.
Especially when we first met Akrus, he did not have any. So.
Michael, Ty's son.
Well, this person with tentacle tattoos on him has spent the better part of 2 years seeking and destroying evil. So don't you think he's bad or anything like that.
Make a persuasion check.
That sentence. I am fucking barely holding my shit together behind Gaius as he says it. I'm like trying not to laugh.
I can't find my character. Where the heck is
I'm just thinking of so many instances.
perception check? Yeah, when
I
he
would like
killed the
to.
bear.
I would like to see if Elster believes Gaius.
Hey!
Boom.
Huzzah.
So he kind of, even though you stumble over your words a bit, he kind of looks at you and his eyes kind of meet yours, and he's got these sort of steel gray eyes. He's got this kind of toughness and sternness behind his eyes, and he nods and he goes, "Well, it's an awful coincidence, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt."
Good.
All right, so you guys step out of the constable's office. What would you like to do?
I just remember the nod. It's like, I just.
You just murdered the mayor too, right?
Oh man,
He fucking killed
the
the
nod
shit out
was.
of him. Boom.
I don't know if we talked about the nod on stream yet, but back in Fandelver, the class staff was making tea or whatever, and I'd used charm person on him, and I turned to the party and I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna kill this guy, right?" And I don't say anything, and I just nod, and Gaius had first initiative, and Gaius just walked up behind him and just like stabbed him in one and just killed him, basically.
Oh,
So that's been kind of the
Cold-blooded.
running joke. Is cold-blooded,
ruined his
like
order
unprovoked, even
almost.
though I gave him the
There
nod.
were some repercussions from that.
As
Oh,
it
yeah,
turns
that did
out,
not go well.
Torm doesn't like that sort of thing.
No, he does not.
Yep, he
Killed
fell out of
the
favor
mayor,
with
killed
Torm.
Clamps.
It was the whole thing, man. Kind of pulled
It was
them.
the whole
That was
thing.
why they got the mission to go into the mist and fight the wolves. They ended up in fighting Strahd. It was a whole thing.
May have
that-
killed the mayor of Valaki. You know, I don't know. We don't.
Possibly.
You
was
did
even-
It all
Clamps.
started. It all
Heat of the
started
battle,
with
you know.
the nod.
The nod.
You killed Clamps.
Murdered the hell out of that guy
You
too.
murdered the hell out of Clamps.
You killed Strahd.
Yeah, murdered the hell out of that guy too.
You
I
actually
got a
did the
big
most
hit
damage
list,
to
man.
Strahd,
It's-
didn't you? You had to have.
What?
You did all the damage to Strahd, didn't you?
At the end there, yeah.
I mean, like
Big
I
hit
didn't
list,
hit
man.
him. I didn't hit him once. But anyway, sorry.
So
But we
probably
digress.
infirmary would be next.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go see that hurt paladin.
Just
If you
a,
want to zoom in on the stream view a little bit, you're showing some of the outline of the knot
Oh,
map.
okay. All right.
an out of character note, Rick. There's a typo in your infirmary.
There's a what?
Typo in your
Infirmary.
Who would have thought a doctor?
You know what? You know what? Watch this.
He can fix this one.
I can fix this one. Oh, I gotta do this.
Hopsiddle. He called it the Hopsiddle instead.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
Woo!
Boom.
That's
Fixing it on the
Perfection.
fly. Fixing it on the fly.
Living in the future.
All right, you guys make your way up. I don't know why it keeps wanting to zoom out. You guys make your way up to the infirmary, which is really just a wooden clapboard chapel or temple structure that is just sort of the single religious place for the entire town. And you can see that it's been turned into sort of a makeshift field hospital. There's some townspeople that have minor wounds that are kind of sitting outside being tended to by some of the clerics from the temple itself. As you make your way inside where the more heavily injured individuals are, you do see that there are a series of beds, 8 to 10 beds, with what look like townspeople laying in them, blood staining the sheets here and there. You can kind of smell the sort of ripe, a little bit of a stench of infection and festering wounds and such as you walk in. The one of the individuals that appears to be a priest of the temple comes forward and he says, he sort of sees you in your garb and all of your armor and weapons, and he says, "What can I do for you?"
We're looking for the infirmary.
You seem to have found it.
We're looking for the hurt paladin.
He says, "We don't have
He's a
any,
young boy, slightly
paladin.
pretty, probably hurt.
We don't have any paladins here, but there is a towns guard that survived the most recent attack."
Oh yeah, that's what he was. Sorry.
Yes, Bilner Grundleman's his name. He's over in the corner there.
Grundleman.
Grundleman, yes.
is there a really wounded, like, is there like a very severely wounded individual in here?
Make perception check.
Oh,
You can,
he's gonna
like,
show off. He's gonna do it again, guys.
Save it for the
Do it.
guy that we're talking to. He probably needs the help, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good point.
You look around, and I mean, yeah, you can tell from the general condition of the people that are in here that there are several that are near death.
All right. I'm gonna give each one of those 5 hit points
With lay on hands?
with lay on hands.
Okay. So you kind of move to the ones that you kind of sense are the most injured, and you lay on hands, and you see some of their wounds improve, and their eyes kind of flutter open, a little bit more color comes to their cheeks, and the priest himself comes, he says, "Oh, thank you, Sir Paladin. Your skills are most welcome."
Speaking of paladins, there were 6 paladins sent this way. Did you happen to meet with them at all?
I knew of the 6 that came here. That was, perhaps 10 days ago, maybe? And they went into the foothills. We haven't heard from them since.
Thank you.
Of course.
When you did hear from them, did they tell you?
Tell you what, you cut out.
When you did hear from them, did they tell you where they might?
Cut out again.
Cut out again.
Hello.
2 for 2.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. When we heard from
Did
you heard from them,
Did they tell you where they might be going in the foothills?
Oh. He says, no, they just said they were heading towards the giant stronghold. I'm not sure where that is.
Hmm. What a bunch of heroes.
Indeed. You guys are kind of walking through this temple, and Gaius is kind of laying hands as you're walking through, and you guys are having this conversation. And you come to this bed that's at the end, and it's got sort of, it's got curtains that are kind of drawn around it. And he opens the curtains up, and he says, Bilno, you have some visitors. Are you feeling up to it? You see this individual that's kind of wrapped in sort of gauze and bandages, just so you can see the sort of the eyes behind all of these bandages, and he's clearly been heavily injured, and he kind of nods. And the priest steps aside, and he says, please. You guys step around the individual. Anything you want to ask or say or do?
So you made it back from the giants.
You hear this
What
sort of
happened?
muffled voice from behind the bandages. Yes.
How? What happened?
Says it was the last battle. Maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago. I was in the rear. I was an archer, and they came from the trees, smashed through the walls like it was kindling. They started rounding up innocent men, women, and children, throwing them into these carts. The townsguard, we tried to fight them off, but they had these people with them. They were not giants. I don't know what they were, but they were casting spells. At one point, one of them cast a spell that made all these tentacles come out of the ground and start grabbing the townsguard and pulling them down into the ground itself.
Oh shit.
It was the most terrible thing I've ever seen. He said,
Kind of like pull Akrus' hood a little farther forward.
Yeah, just
he says, I was able to get a good shot on one of them. They were busy concentrating on whatever that field of tentacles was, and I got a good shot and I took them down. And I ran out there to finish the job to make sure they weren't going to cast any more spells, and that's when they attacked me. I was injured and nearly dead, but I was able to pull this off of their hand. And he opens his hand up, and he's got sort of all this gauze and stuff, and kind of clutched in his hand. He opens it, and there's a ring inside. They were wearing this.
Oh, snap. Is that exactly like Akrus's?
I'd like to take a closer look at it.
Okay.
And I pull out the tentacle. I turn away from the guy and I pull out the tentacle brooch that Lady Wachter gave me at Curse of Strahd, and I like to compare it to the ring.
Okay. While it is not identical, it is very similar. The brooch you have has 6 tentacles coming in the same pattern, And there's not a skull on top of the brooch. It's just sort of a circular, just like a circular bit of metal there that the tentacles come out of. But you definitely see a resemblance in the pattern.
I'd like to inspect the ring to see if it's magical or filled with arcane energy.
Sure, roll an Arcana check.
It was almost a 20, and then it was an 8.
You don't see anything specific about it that appears to be magical in nature. It appears to be some sort of a symbolic ring, but you don't see anything magical about it specifically.
I'd like to pass it back over to the gentleman in the bed.
Okay.
That might be
He
useful.
takes
to-
it back into his hand and kind of clutches it and puts it up next to his chest.
I say, if you're willing to part with that, that could come to be useful to us. We're trying to get further information. We're trying to investigate and figure this out.
He sort of brings his eyes over. You can see he's kind of searching to look at your features with your hood kind of pulled over your face. He kind of sits up in bed a little bit and he leans forward and he says, "Why is your face covered?"
I'm very, very insensitive to light.
Yeah,
burns
he's
me.
been having a bad time. A skin condition lately.
Roll a deception check, please.
Me or him?
Akrus,
Because I said it last. Fuck.
you did, but good try.
No, it was a 17.
Look at
and
you,
then it
you
wasn't.
liar.
19, it's not bad.
It's pretty good, actually.
He kind of leans back and holds his hand out and opens it and offers you the ring. He says, "Well, it's none of my business. As long as you can help us, I don't really care why you cover your face."
Was it just hill giants?
What were the giants using to attack the town? Their fists? Did they have weapons?
Yeah, big battle axes. They were throwing rocks. I'm not an expert on giants. I've only ever seen one in my life before this battle. But there was one that seemed different. He was a little taller. He had sort of gray skin. I don't know.
Okay.
Did we recognize that at all?
Roll a survival check.
I'm gonna add the ring to my inventory.
Yep. Just add skull and tentacle ring.
Okay.
Nope.
Doesn't ring a
It's
bell.
It's a skull
giant.
ring.
Okay.
Anything else you guys want to do in the infirmary while you're there?
No, we hope you get better, son. And then I turn to leave.
I
Do
motion
I
to
think-
Gaius, and I'm like, you wanna help this guy out a little bit?
That's not a bad idea, but
Do you give him the nod?
Yeah, help him
Then
out.
audible, I do it.
I turn to Razzler and I say, "Would you like to see if you can try that?"
Nope.
Okay.
I'm more of a team healer. Small wins for small teams.
I'll give him 5 points.
Do these people have they're already in the hospital. Do I see any health potions around?
Roll a perception check.
Turn me into a nuke.
Better.
You don't see any health potions around. It seems to be that they are using various herbs and poultices and things to try and heal up wounds. Nothing magical that you can tell.
Is the priest not able to cast healing spells? I ask him.
Who are you asking?
The priest.
Oh, he looks at you and says, I don't have any magical abilities.
Hmm. Can we look at him with a judging manner?
You can.
I'd prefer to. Yep.
He sort of looks at you with kind of a quizzical look on his face, and he says, I'm just trying to help here.
I'm just gonna slowly turn and wait outside. Go walk outside.
And you truly are. And then I'm gonna turn and walk out too.
Razzler's salty tonight.
He's dick.
I'm sorry.
We're all
I'm
dicks
tired.
tonight.
Man, you make him a paladin and he
It's
turns
because he's a
into an
paladin. Yeah,
a-hole.
that's what I was gonna say.
The
So at
ego
least
went
better than
straight
everyone
my,
else.
Yeah.
You know? We should have known.
All right.
The high AC and the quest for power.
So you guys make your way back out of the infirmary. At this point, the sun is beginning to set. Night is coming on. What would you guys like to do?
Don our night visions and go hunting.
Of course.
That's what Andy
That's
would
right.
do.
That's
Right,
right.
our
It's almost,
It's almost dark. Yeah.
guys
Well,
are-
guys, let's go to the come on in
I want
and
to check
spend
out
the
the.
night. And
I want to check out the drunken duck.
That's a really cool name.
I'm
for
interested
a-
in that one too.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you imagine a duck drunk
I hope
walking?
this tavern has a portal to
Yeah.
whatever in the middle
Let's
of
go
it.
see if they have any live music, Razzler.
Yeah.
So you make your way down the short, kind of dirt road, and you come across this ramshackle, this sort of lean-to shack. It looks like it hasn't really been all that well kept up. The boards are just kind of leaning up against it. It's got a sort of a metal type roof, kind of a, you know, almost like a corrugated roof there at the top. And you can see that there's just a makeshift sign that's hanging from some chain over the top, and it says the Drunken Duck. And you can see there's just this crude carving that's kind of been painted in of a duck on his back, and he's got like X's over his eyes, and you can just see these little bubbles coming out of his mouth like he's drunk.
Awesome. This place is perfect.
I love this.
So you head in, and it's sort of the old west kind of swing open doors, you know. You kind
Of
of
course.
push your way in, and
The drunken saloon.
Saloon doors. Yeah.
yeah, saloon doors, exactly. So you push your way in, and the bartender, the barkeep there, kind of looks at you as you walk in, and he says, "Welcome to the Duck. What can I do for you?"
No, I'm just looking for a drink.
I'd like to see the duck.
Well, you came to the right place.
Yeah. You got any music?
Oh, here, I have a little picture of the town of Water Rivermoot for you there.
Oh,
Okay.
it's quaint. It's cute.
Nice.
So, you guys kind of come into the Drunken Duck itself. There's not very many people in the tavern at this point. It's a bit of a somber atmosphere, and the barkeep's just kind of polishing and cleaning the bar there as he draws you each a mug of ale and puts it there in front of you, and he says, rough times.
So where he's serving, it's like a bar. There's stools there where we could sit there and
Yeah.
talk to him while
Sure.
drinking. So I'm gonna sit down and start drinking, and tell him that we're a band of, hey, we're a band of adventurers / performers called Razzler and the Dazzlers, featuring Akrus. And we're traveling through Rivermoot here, and thought maybe we could perform some music in your tavern tonight.
And he looks at you and he goes, well, I can't say that we've got many patrons. Most people are out either working on the defenses or injured or gone, but a little music never hurt. Might lift the spirits a bit.
Exactly.
All right.
I'll sip my drink.
Okay.
Okay.
Did he say how much the drinks were?
It's
he
a
gave 'em to us?
silver. It's a silver per ale, so 4 silver for the 4 of you.
Okay. I'll give him
We
4
should.
gold.
He looks and he goes, no, I said 4 silver.
I heard you.
He kind of
Just
nods
started.
and he goes, well, that's mighty nice of you. So
All
you
right,
guys-
let's start drinking, everybody.
You guys spend an evening in the Drunken Duck. At some point in the evening,
Every-
you're gonna do a performance or something.
Everybody
Never
roll a
practice.
constitution check to see
Isn't
how
that
drunk
what
you are.
you do? As Razzler and the Dazzlers?
Yes.
Or have I been mistaken this whole time, Razzler?
All right, let's do a performance for these people. Are there enough people in the bar? Is there at least a
there's
couple?
a few. There's 4 to 5 patrons in the bar right now.
If we're loud enough, maybe we'll attract them. If we're good enough, huh?
Let's tell them that we're practicing a big tune for the big cities. So we want to practice it here.
All right. So Razzler, you begin. What sort of a song are you playing?
We bested Barovia.
Light-hearted hillbilly type song.
Okay. Roll a performance check.
Will help.
So Razzler steps up on stage and he begins to just sort of pluck out almost like a banjo type tune. And as it sort of starts out slowly and he builds and builds and he sort of brings the tempo up to where he's finally kind of stomping his feet. And he kind of nods to Akrus. And it's time for the bass. Akrus, roll your performance check, please.
It's time,
Terrible.
boys.
16, not bad. Akrus, right on cue, sort of steps up behind him and picks up the beat perfectly and begins to play his little makeshift bass there. And after a few more bars, they nod to Elster. And what do you play? You're playing a violin, right?
It is. I'm gonna go fiddling style.
But yeah, in this case, it would be a fiddle.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and roll your performance check.
Right.
Wow, you guys are killing it.
Nice.
And
I always wait for the drums, baby.
And Elster, you come in and you and Razzler start to have this sort of dueling back and forth where he'll play a banjo type lick and then you come right back with a fiddle lick and you're getting back
Dueling
and forth.
banjo style.
And you can see that the townspeople are starting to take notice and they're starting to kind of clap along with you and everything. And then right at the peak of it, right at the culmination of this entire battle between Elster and Razzler, Gaius, you come in with the bongo beat. Roll your performance check.
Okay.
So if he
I can
rolls
see this
terribly,
going
I'm going
horribly.
to stop
Natural
playing
one.
and look at him.
Oh,
Hey!
so close.
That's good. Yeah.
This is amazing.
And Gaius perfectly comes in and adds kind of this syncopated bongo beat as Elster and Razzler are kind of going back and forth, and Akrus is just keeping down that. And Akrus, you and Gaius kind of get in lockstep with the drums and the bass, and you guys are just driving it forward. And Elster and Razzler are just playing on top of it, and the entire place kind of just starts clapping and laughing and singing along. And at the end, you end with this huge flourish, and the whole tavern. I mean, there's only like 4 people in the bartender, but they're like, "Yay!" They're all clapping and cheering for you. Even a few silver pieces are tossed your way.
Sweet.
Well, that was gratifying.
So, you spend the rest of the evening, you play a few more tunes at the Drunken Duck, have a few more ales. You eventually kind of stumble your way back to the Come On In,
Gotta get a room, huh?
A room.
where you guys can get lodging for the night. It is 2 silver per room. The rooms are pretty austere, not very fancy at all, but it'll sleep for the night.
But we can all have our own room.
Yeah, sure. They're cheap.
Guys, do we want to sleep in our own rooms when we know Akrus is being all weird?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get hit with the wet tentacle or anything, so I'm
Sure.
gonna spring for my own room.
Okay.
I'll get it. I'll get it, guys.
Akrus, do you want me
8
to sleep
silver?
with you?
I'll be fine, brother. Don't you worry about me.
Okay.
All right, so you guys head up to your rooms. Anything else before you head in for the night?
No, I think that should be good, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It's a good end to the day.
So you guys complete your rest. You awake the next morning. There's a very meager offering of some porridge from the Come On In staff there as you come downstairs. And the day is yours. What would you like to do?
For what is that? Fiendish resilience. I'd like to choose slashing damage. Now that I learned that they have great axes.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we heard some things about them going to the foothills, right?
Yeah.
They did. They went to the foothills or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Guys, you wanna head up there?
I mean, it seems like the next logical spot, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's take our horses, though.
Yeah.
Definitely want that. I don't want to leave our horses. These people aren't going to really bring anybody with or help, so I think we're fine. Let's just move on up there.
Yeah,
See if
sounds
we
good.
can find our first one.
All right. Come on, glue pot 2.
Maybe
Let's go.
evidence of the battle or something we can look around.
Yeah.
Yeah, see if
I
we
want
can
to look
track
at
it.
Akrus. Do you know ways to control other beings? Like,
I know it can be done, right? And I reach into my pouch and I pull out the control magic amulet we found in the Amber Temple.
okay.
But I don't know how to use this. I know it can be done, though.
You charmed people.
I can charm people, but that's different than controlling them, right? Charm is more of a suggestion, like, we're friends, but they won't actively do anything to hurt somebody else. Control is something entirely different.
Oh, interesting.
I know the type of man you are, but I'm a little wary of all the rest of these people.
Like I said, I've never found anybody similar to me before, right? So,
Okay.
yeah, you know, it's... I can't speak for what they'll do, but I can speak for what I can do.
I want to look really holy and look to Gaius. You must learn to trust and love and forgive.
Very wise, Sir Razzler.
Thank you.
Also, guys, as a footnote, now that I have this ring, you know, maybe if it came down to, I can do it like an infiltration kind of thing.
Oh, snap.
So, something to think about, too.
How much of your face is actually covered with tattoos now?
I think it's just like the one side, right, Rick? It's just like...
Yeah, it's one side. It kind of comes from the ear, and it almost emanates from the ear, and there are multiple tentacles that come up and kind of come over the top of the forehead and wrap around the eye and come down around the jaw as well.
Extreme.
Wow.
You've changed, brother.
All right, well, do we head that way?
Which way?
Towards the hill.
Yeah, towards the north. I assume,
Towards the
right?
giants. Let's
Yeah.
do it, squad.
Can we
Let's
track
get
them?
ready.
Go for it.
Track them. Put your nose to the sky and smell it.
So you guys make your way out of the town, and the townspeople kind of make way for you as you kind of guide your horses through, and you make your way through still what is a breach in the town walls. As you head towards the foothills, you see that you're actually going to be passing through the battlefield itself, where the most recent battle happened.
Huh.
As we're passing through... Well, I guess we're not there yet, but... As we're passing through, I would just want to maybe inspect some of, like, the battle remains, like, look at some of see what the giants are carrying, see if I can see any of the spellcasters to see, you know, how similar things look to how they were described by the people.
Okay, roll a perception. Actually, make an investigation check since you're going to take some time to do this. $17. Okay. So now, what are you looking for as you kind of make your way through this battlefield?
I want to see if there's any of the downed spellcasters, and see if I can, like, look at their person, look on their body for any additional, you know, markings, or, you know, basically, I want to compare myself to them and see if there are any differences, if they have additional markings, things like that.
Okay. You only see one spellcaster that you can tell. There are only 3 or 4 giants that appear to have fallen in the battle, and this one spellcaster. You can see that this individual has black clothing on with a sort of a white, almost like a shawl that comes off of, it's kind of draped around the shoulders and goes down the back. This appears to be some sort of a humanoid. Looks like probably a half-elf by the look of the ears. but you can see that there is white paint that has been put, almost like thick makeup that's been put over the face. There are black circles that have been painted around the eyes, and also black has been blacked out the nose. So almost the face itself takes on the appearance of a skull. And the armor actually also has the appearance of bones or skulls of some type. And this individual has been dead for probably a few days now. You don't see anything on them specifically that would be of value. You don't detect any specific markings or anything like that.
Well,
Yeah, I
I
was
mean,
looking
if
for,
we
like-
scrubbed away the white paint, maybe we'd see a tattoo or something.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to look for, right?
So you're going to take away the makeup?
Notion to Razzler. Can you use prestidigitation on this corpse? Can't hear you, brother.
You might be muted, Razzler.
Whoops. Yes, I will use prestidigitation and clean it up.
Okay. So you use prestidigitation, and the sort of the heavy white makeup goes away, and indeed you see, although not as extensive as the markings that are on your face, Akrus, you do see similar markings coming from the ear on one side, also scar or burn-like marks that are tentacles moving towards the face.
And it's
Okay.
not as bad as a Crucis?
It's not as extensive. Akrus has multiple, tentacles that are coming almost over the entire face. This individual only has about two. One here underneath the eye that kind of wraps around the eye itself, and one that goes down the jawline.
So second level. So you got 12 on you, Akrus?
One of these days, I'm just gonna show up with that actually painted on my face, and you guys are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
So the rumors are true. Got it.
yeah. Well, I think we keep pushing on and see if we can find this den of giants and try to maybe reconnoiter.
Well, we were tasked to get info, right? We don't have to kill him. And figure out what was the official wording? Like, figure out what's going on, why the giants are attacking this town, and who's controlling them, right?
Yeah, I think we got to find out why the townsfolk have been taken.
Yeah, specifically
Especially by
the task you
giants.
guys were given was to find out why the giants were attacking, why they were attacking together, and ensure the safety of the population. That was kind of the three things you were given.
Oh, so we do have to maybe kill the giants.
Well, you just have to ensure the safety of the population. However you do that is up to you.
Well, if they're all dead, they're safe, right?
We
The
were
townspeople
whole
or the
town.
giants?
Town
I
is
can never
safe.
tell with you.
Yeah,
guys.
exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was meaning. You guys were picking up what I was talking about.
Bunch of murder hobos in this group.
That's right.
I give them
All
a
right.
nod.
All right, so you guys gonna do anything else? Are you heading towards the foothills?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, let's head towards the foothills.
So you make your way further into the foothills themselves. Again, it's kind of damp. A lot of the trees that you see have a fresh coating of mist and sort of moisture dripping off of them. Some of the logs that have fallen across the area are sort of rotted and, in various states of decay. I need somebody to roll a survival check to try and track and see if you can tell where these giants might have come from.
Survival's wisdom? Who's wise? I'm not a very good tracker.
I got it.
Somebody is.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, Akrus, you kind of kneel down at one point, and you can. It's not that hard to follow. I mean, they are giants, so you can see, sort of these broken branches and such that kind of lead off to the north towards the foothills themselves. You guys kind of take your horses and you kind of pick your way along, and you travel for probably a good 2 hours, sort of picking your way through the dense underbrush and the forest itself. And you kind of come to a little bit of an outcropping, a bit of a ledge, and you can see that it kind of goes down into a valley. And below you there, you can see what appears to be a structure. Let me pull that up here and I will show that to you. As soon as the page loads. I will also note that off to your right, on this sort of outcropping that you're standing up on as you're looking down over this structure, you can see what appears to be a cave.
Hey, Elster, go run in the cave. That's what you do to caves, right?
Yes, Daddy.
Daddy, chill.
Oh no, it's stuck.
Oh no.
I may have to reload my foundry real quick. It's
Yeah, mine
stuck-
crashed earlier.
It's stuck loading at 99%. This is not good. Well, I can narrate it, and once it comes up, I will show you the picture. But basically, down below you, you see this massive structure. From here, you can even see that the walls themselves are made of huge tree trunks. The roof appears to be some sort of thatch, and it's sort of this large rectangular structure that's down below you. You can see the ground around it, the grass has been trampled and turned into sort of a mixture of mud and just water and slag as these massive creatures have been moving around it. You do see that there is a large double door at the front of it that is currently closed.
So there's a house, a huge house made of tree trunks, and then what was the cave? What, in relation to that?
There appears to be a cave off to your right that you can see just where you guys have come out of the hills themselves, and this structure seems to be down kind of in a valley beneath you. And there's a cave that's off to your right that appears to overlook the valley itself. Okay, here we go. I got it. I reloaded. So let me show you this picture of... There it is. There you go.
Oh wow.
Pretty large.
I assume the proportions are like bigger than normal.
Giant.
Like
as it
one
were.
story on that is much larger than a normal one story.
Yeah, they might be considered giant-sized.
It might be giants.
Good band.
Yes, they might.
So currently it's about early to mid-afternoon. You guys took some time to kind of explore and examine the bodies that are on the battlefield. And it took you about 2 hours to make your way through the woods towards this valley with what appears to be some sort of a structure. What do you guys want to do at this point?
You guys want to camp and do reconnaissance and see what comes into or out of that town from our position?
Sure. Yeah.
We
That's
can
actually
see out of the
pretty
tiny
smart.
hut, right?
Yeah.
The tiny hut, yeah, I mean, you can see out of it. It's a little bit kind of like looking through old glass where it's just kind of wavy because it's
I think
not
we
a
need to.
perfectly translucent thing, but...
I don't think we need to sit in the tiny hut, but I think we can just like post up in the trees or whatever. And just kind of see
Okay.
what comes in and out of that area.
Wow, you don't want a tiny hut.
No, we
Well,
save
I
a
mean-
tiny hut for.
We could have somebody sitting outside of the tiny hut and... I don't know. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe... Look, man, I just came from a place where literally everything wanted to kill us. So, I'm a little
Yeah, we
nervous.
don't know
Yeah,
what
I
the
was there
world's
too.
like anymore.
All right, so we'd like to, I guess, kind of disguise, kind of hide a bit, and then monitor this area here and see what comes into or out of it.
Okay.
See if we can find any more magic users coming.
Or giants or whatever.
So you're just gonna kind of surveil the area for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a perception check. Somebody can roll it with advantage since all of you guys are participating. All right, 21. So, yeah, you guys kind of post up along this kind of ridge line. You find yourself a few bushes, hide behind some rocks, and you just kind of sit there and watch. And you do see through the day and into the kind of early evening, you see a few of these massive creatures come through. They are huge. They're probably 15 to 16 feet tall, carrying large battle axes or clubs. They kind of lumber around. Some of them come out of the front door itself and sort of make a circuit of the structure, and then kind of head back in. You also see there are some smaller creatures that come out. What appear to be perhaps ogres or some other sort of smaller non-giant creature that comes out and like empties out buckets, or comes out and tosses out a bucket of like refuse or that sort of thing into a pile off to the side, and then head back inside the structure itself.
Is there any activity above the cave?
Doesn't appear to be.
I think we might have found where they're keeping all the people.
Yeah.
Or it's just they're pissing and shitting into buckets.
We should examine it.
The fecal matter?
Yep, go get it, Akrus.
What could go wrong?
Figured it would be you. You're the one that had the squire named Crap.
That
Yeah.
is true. It was carp. It
Oh.
was extremely clear.
Well, in his eyes.
Yeah.
Well, we can investigate this area and try to rescue.
You guys want to investigate the cave at all before we go to the structure? Or?
Yeah, so what happens? We haven't seen any activity in the cave.
You've not.
Oh my.
I mean, I feel
Well.
like the answer is, we don't want to, like, ambush the town because... Well, is it a town or is it just like a walled-in kind of one room? It looks like just a walled-in one room
It's just a
kind of.
walled-in structure. It's not a town.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a walled-in, huge building.
Like a compound.
We liberated the building by hitting it with fireballs. Killed all the townsfolk inside. I mean, like, either we try and sneak in at night, or maybe we wait for one to come out and try and fight that one. See how
We
hard
do-
it is, because
We
What
do
do
have
we
two
know
guys in
about-
plate mail. Not the best sneakers around.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not sneaking. If only somebody could turn us into vapor and put us in a bottle.
I don't know how to do that yet.
But it'll be really sweet when you do.
Yeah.
How far away is the cave from the structure again?
So the cave's up on the ridgeline. The structure itself is maybe half a mile below you, 3/4 of a mile down in the valley. Not too far.
Let's check out the cave, yeah.
For some reason, I want to check out the cave first. I don't know why, but
All
Yeah, we
right.
can tell.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Let's check out the cave.
So you guys head over to the cave. You kind of enter in, and it seems to be empty. You don't see any signs of recent occupancy or any evidence of animals that have frequented there at all. Seems to be an empty cave.
hey, Rick, a bunch of us are suffering from daylight savings time. We were wondering if it'd be a good time to call it for the night,
We could.
or
I'd
We
like
cut it a little bit
to.
early since you guys are all weenies and can't handle daylight savings time.
Basically.
I am fucking falling asleep in my chair.
It's
I
only
didn't-
8:30.
I didn't sleep very well last night. Too.
I'd like
Chris
to
is
pull out
hungover.
the wand of secrets and see if inside the cave if there's any traps or secret doors or
Okay.
entrances.
Oh, I like that.
So you
One
use the
final
wand of
move.
secrets, and nothing happens. You don't detect any caves or any trapdoors or traps that you can see. Secret doors, nothing like that.
You don't even
Okay.
detect the cave, man.
Worth a
The
shot.
cave wasn't a secret; it was plainly visible from outside.
There's a secret thing in the cave, maybe. I don't know. Worth a shot.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so you guys are at the cave. You are overlooking the structure that appears to be associated with these giants that have been attacking this town of Rivermoot. And with that, as the sun is setting over the nearby foothills and night is beginning to fall, we will cut it there and pick it up next time from that point.
That sounds good.
All right.
So, experience. I know you guys haven't had any experience points in quite some time, but
Oh,
You still
man.
get experience points.
I know, right? So, for completing your tasks, you in Waterdeep, you did a little bit of investigation into the Order of the Gauntlets, and reaching the town of Rivermoot, and sort of unearthing some of the things that have been going on and getting some clues. You guys are all going to receive 1,000 experience points for tonight.
Oh.
Not a huge amount, but you didn't actually kill anything. So
We didn't actually do anything, so
What are we at?
you relocated.
101 000.
Yeah, you
1,
guys
2, 1, I
hit
thought?
level 12, exactly 100,000 after Curse of Strahd, so you should be at 101.
Oh, for some reason mine
Okay.
says 1, 2, 120.
It's wrong.
Nope.
Huh. I wonder how that got there. 101. All right.
Gaius, you're
Cheating.
actually 20,000 experience points behind everyone else.
I remember
you
that.
went the wrong way.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
went the wrong way.
Yep.
So, we will cut it there. Thanks to everyone for watching the stream, and we will be back next Sunday at 7 Central. And we will continue the adventure as our party tries to determine the motivations of these giants and why they are terrorizing this poor town. Thanks
Roll
for watching,
high, everyone.
and we'll see you guys next time.
See you next week.
Bye.
All right, see ya.